What is up? What is up? What is up, everybody? It is Phil Nagy. It is Kit Nagy, and it is Nagy on Sports with some sim action. The Raiders and the Browns, LA calling it already. Yes, Max Crosby, the NFL note of the day. A couple of first rounders going back to Las Vegas for their star pass rusher, and yes, of course, he would have to come to the AFC North because it's not tough enough to be good or even mediocre, which is what the Browns are trying to do on offense. But we're so excited to be with you. It is the 2026 season, and the Raiders, with Max Crosby, tattoos included, are in town. Here's a look at their young coach, Mr. Clint Kubiak, and our young coach, not so young, Todd Monken, on the other side. But very excited to be joined on the mic tonight by Kit. Kit, how are we doing, man?
Doing well. Glad to finally get to be on one here, and yeah, certainly a big day of news there in LA with Max Crosby being traded to the Ravens, as you mentioned, also releasing Geno Smith. So a lot going on over there in Vegas, and indeed across the NFL as we start to see the shakeups start to occur and the landscape start to shift.
Indeed it is. Looks like JOK a little bit shaken up on his first tackle, but he will be on the sideline and apparently intact. Welcome in, Anthony. Welcome in, LA. Welcome in, Karen. Good to have you guys on it. There he is. Number 1 overall pick, Fernando Mendoza, wearing the number 13. He'll turn around. He'll hand it to his running back. Actually, a 2-week short-term injury, unfortunately, for Ashton Genty. So Israel Abaconda, former Jet, will be in there running the football today. Mendoza fakes the handoff to him. He'll roll to the right, fire to the right. Flag on the play. We'll see what it turns into. Holding.
Offense.
And it's Alex Kappa, the former Bengal, and now right guard for the Raiders, who have a 2nd and 19. Mendoza will wiggle through the pocket. Fire on the run, and it's picked off. Jerome Baker snagged it out of the air. So he was trying to go to the rookie KC Concepcion, and Jerome Baker picks it off.
Yeah, a bit of a rookie mistake there for Mendoza. Just leaves it a little bit short into coverage here. Baker able to take advantage of it. Kind of off platform there. Doesn't see the defender settling underneath it. And Baker with some nice heads-up play there to take that one away.
Indeed it is. Shedeur out onto the field now. Again, if you're just joining us, appreciate you being with us. Phil Nagy, Kit Nagy. Nagy on Sports. We've gone through the offseason. We did our whole draft. We did our whole free agency situation. Browns have gotten better, and we've decided to go with what we're calling Plan A, which is just surround Shedeur with better players and better pieces on the line and at wide receiver, and see if that renders a better-looking product. And if not, you'll have the ability to go into a deep quarterback draft in 27. But now Shedeur back to pass. They are 2-0 to start the young season. There's a catch by Harold Fannin. He's a big part of that with how talented he is. Chief among the pass catchers for Shedeur. Judkins back and healthy. He is the tailback. He's on the right hip. Back to pass. Naturally, he'll stay in and help block. Shedeur's going to run. Fire on the run to the end zone, and he almost gives the interception right back. That's the rookie Keith Abney. And Abney's not able to hold it in. The Browns are going to have to settle for a Andre Schmidt 40-yarder.
Yeah, 2 ill-advised off-platform throws on the run by both quarterbacks. Running forward and throwing the ball is difficult, especially off the platform, and not in a good position to have the right mechanics behind your throw. In this case, it sailed just a little long on him, and that almost ended up in an interception. The earlier one just a little underthrown for the bad mechanics, and it did end up in the interception. I think Sanders had the better side of that one, fortunately for the Browns. Yeah, you mentioned the game plan here in our sim. Certainly what it seems like Plan A is also for the Browns. Surround Sanders for now with the or whoever it ends up being. I mean, maybe they decide somebody else has won the job, but they're going to give everybody a fair shake, from what I understand, and then surround whoever that is with the best pieces they can in the meantime, and certainly work on the O-line. They've done some work there already. And then the coaching staff, coaching staff, certainly a big part of this adjustment, and we'll see how they actually work out. But so far from the pressers, sounds like at least their hearts are in the right places. We'll see how it translates to the field.
Indeed, it is. Nice little hoot action there from Mendoza to one of his two talented tight ends, Michael Mayer. Also Brock Bowers out there, as well as Schlesinger shuts down the run in the middle. Again, Israel Abaconda, the running back, free agent pickup with a 2-week remaining injury to Ashton Genty. Mendoza in a shotgun. We'll go through some of those Browns roster moves that we've made, as people were teasing me on the Discord earlier today. Am I a psychic about the rosters? Because there are now rumors that they're sniffing around Brian Thomas, which is what we did in our sim. Traded a third-round pick in Jerry Jeudy for Brian Thomas to kind of be a real wide receiver number one. And with DJ Moore and a fifth going for just a second yesterday, I definitely think, as Alex Wright continues his hot start, he's had a really, really nice start to the season now with 5 different sacks just in 3 games. But I really, really think the Browns should be calling around on Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson and Marvin Harrison and Brian Thomas and some of these young, still on their rookie deal wide receivers who may be slightly falling out of favor for many varying reasons, and go get yourself a wide receiver one, and I'm happy to give up number 39 to do that.
Yeah, and Alex Wright, look for him to kind of have a breakout season. I think this year he's been sniffing right around the edges of it, but has just not really quite put it all together. He was very close this last season and really having, that polished and consistent look. But very possible he'll turn that corner this year. So look for him possibly to pop.
That would be very nice if he did. Now trips to the left side. Sanders back to pass. Shador fires left. Got a man. This Brian Thomas right on cue in the transfer portal. Gosh, too much college. The trade that we made with Jacksonville for Brian Thomas. Again, we traded Jerry Jeudy in a third rounder. I don't think the Browns can realistically trade Jerry Jeudy. I think he has too much dead money. I think we're going to have to keep him and just slot him back down. But in the sim, I was able to make it happen and kill 2 birds with one stone. Here comes Quinchon. Nice juke to the right side for 14 yards before Darian Porter brings him to the ground, and somebody's hurt, and it is DeJuan Jones. Sideline or locker room? Well, it looks like he's on the sideline, so we'll be okay. But I think in every game so far, he's missed a few snaps, and that'll bring in the... I can't tell who they just put in the back. Oh, it is the rookie Riley Molman, the undrafted rookie free agent out of Wisconsin.
An odd play there. I never want to have 2 receivers in the same spot, especially behind the line of scrimmage. That was super weird.
That was weird. Anyway, nice catch by Sampson. Watch out, spin move, and Dylan's into the open space to the 16. Give him 25 for Dylan Sampson.
Yeah, that one looked like it was going to go for a moment. Sampson with some nice footwork on that play. Can't quite beat the last defender, but nicely done anyway.
Sure was. They'll stretch it left side to Quinchon, and he's going to be stuck right there with the line. Max Crosby in there, as well as Palomalo, the safety. Invested heavily in the D-line and in free agency. DJ Reader in there. Of course, Max Crosby hadn't been traded. And again, as this offseason progresses, and even as the Browns start to pick up guys, we are not going to be messing with the roster, as this one's going to be dropped by Thomas. Per our tradition, we're going to run this thing through, and then after the draft and free agency happens for real, we'll redo the roster in the right capacity. So we have often fallen in love, as somebody's going to get called for holding. Just get down, Shador. He's going to go into the end zone. I think it's going to come right back. But as we've done in the past, fallen in love with players who we've drafted, and then they go elsewhere. And it looks like Francis Maui-Noah, the number 24 overall pick for us, is going to be guilty of the hold, and that's exactly what's going to bring back the touchdown. Welcome in, Swag, and yes, it's happening. Well, or it'll happen officially when the league year opens up. And somehow the Ravens keep finding a way to get better while Lamar is in the window. Wonder if it means that they're going to go to a 4-3. Because I don't know if Crosby can play in a 3-4.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. It would be, obviously with a new head coach, these things can and do happen.
But Jesse Minter's from like the Harbaugh 3-4 tree though, so that's what.
Right, which is odd. Doesn't mean he won't change it, but it's that was the Browns had those kind of woes all the time. But the fact that they're trading for Crosby, kind of out the gate, you're not gonna square peg round hole this thing. So it sounds to me more likely that they're actually leaning towards swapping systems, which would be unusual, especially with one that is from that tree. But at the same time, why would you trade for Max Crosby if you're not? And then on the other hand, if you are, welcome to the Browns turmoil. That was just absolute kryptonite for us for years.
Yeah. Fling it to the right side. Oof, big hit by Miles Harden. Taking down Michael Mayer there. 3rd and long coming up. So Anthony Weaver is their defensive coordinator. He was the defensive coordinator for the Dolphins before that, who ran a 3-4. So float this one into space, and it's going to be caught. A really long throw and catch. And a first down to the wide receiver. And I don't have it, or that's, Calvin Austin, the former Steeler, coming over in free agency.
Yeah, but on the other hand, maybe they think they can, reimagine him as a different player than he's been. But that seems like a disaster waiting to happen. That seems like a waste of 2 first-round picks because even an elite player like him, trying to have him play effectively out of position, which is what that would be, sounds like a disaster.
Mendoza able to scramble for a first down into Browns territory come the Raiders, trailing 6-0 here. Again, Phil Nagy, Kit Nagy. Nagy on Sports is the channel only place you're going to find these simulated slow sim sporting events with live original commentaries. We're getting a little run from Winston Reed here, coming back after a season of being injured with he and Buki Watson, re-signing with the Browns in our sim season. Now Mendoza against the 4-man rush, flinging it across the middle. It's the rookie Concepcion, the kid from Texas A&M. Little spark plug, talented player, taken with maybe their second round pick. I don't remember. I'm not going to pretend to remember where everybody went in the draft at this point. Another run up the middle, and Wakanda's got 8 yards. Anyway, we're so grateful to all of our subscribers. You guys are the very best as we hover towards 1,200. Also hit that thumbs up button if you don't mind. And for those who aren't able to join us live, that's totally okay. It's been a crazy week here as I restart my coaching, and but not getting to practice at the regular time because basketball is still playing in the playoffs, so the schedule's just been crazy, and therefore no sims until after 11 on a Friday night. Pump fake left side, Mendoza. Good pocket presence, floats it over the middle, caught by Brock Bowers down at the 1-yard line. 1st and goal, Raiders. Having an effective tight end like Brock Bowers, he is a weapon. Good tackle by Delpit to save the touchdown, but Delpit had gotten beat there in that coverage. The tight end's left, turn around, give it to Abaconda. No, he won't get in. Mike Hall Jr. stuffing his nose right there. They're at the half-inch line. Heavy set, turn around. Oh, RPO, and fired it to an open receiver, caught for a touchdown. That is the 3rd tight end, and I'm not going to pretend to remember. It's Dallin Bentley, a rookie. Dallin Bentley. He is from Utah, 6'4", 264, taken late in the draft. And once again, Winston Reed in there trying to cover him. But Dallin Bentley scores the first touchdown of the game, and it belongs to Vegas. Appreciate everybody joining us here. 1:10 to go, first quarter. Browns now trailing 7-6 as they were only able to get 2 field goals on their first 2 drives. Let's see if drive number 3 can get them into the end zone. Here comes Gage Larvadan. Sweet little move for Gage to the 25, and then he'll go down the hands of Jeremy Chin, the longtime strong safety. Look at what Quinchon has done to start this season. Pretty nice game, couple of games for him, averaging over 100 yards per game so far. Double tight ends to the right side. Remember, we picked up Isaiah Likely in free agency to go with Harold Fannin, so they've got 44 and 88 right next to each other. Sam Williams, the former Cowboy, with a nice TFL that time. Under 40 to go. Fannin in there in 11 personnel. Also drafted Carnell Tate for the Browns. Have not yet called his number. Wearing number 8 for us here. We took him with the number 6 overall pick. Pat Coogan, rookie center from Indiana, back in the snap. Sanders fires left side, right at the sticks, and it's going to be just a little bit short to Isaiah Bond by 1 yard. And from their own 35, I cannot imagine Monken going for this just yet. But that is how the first quarter comes to a close. 7-6, Raiders lead the Browns. Raiders who are 1-1 in this young sim season.
It will be interesting to see, however, just how aggressive Monken is going to be. You know, obviously he's been the play caller before, but head coaches tend to have their analytics guys, their offense coordinators, but they tend to have a lot more sway on, do we go for it, do we not go for it? So it'll be interesting to see what his brand looks like in terms of how aggressive he's going to be.
Absolutely. A heavy set formation again. Play action on Mendoza. Takes off. We know he's got wheels. 35 to the 40 to the 45. Browns in that patented man coverage. It was kind of fun. I don't know if you got a chance to listen to the 2 coordinators had their pressers earlier this week.
Yep.
It was fun, especially the defensive coordinator, man. He sounds like a football junkie. He sounds a lot like a young Jim Schwartz is what he sounds like.
Yeah, he does.
Really big on relationships
and yeah, I think the defense is going to be fun. I think he's going to, the thing that I appreciated about him is the style over scheme stuff. That's a big that's a big thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's important. So I appreciated that. I like his energy. And if he brings that and actually does cultivate those relationships to make sure that he's getting the most out of his guys, then we shouldn't have any problem on defense. They're going to play for him.
Yeah.
And they're awful good, as we know. So that's I don't think we'll expect a lot of change on that side of the ball. It's really about what's going to happen on offense, and if they get pieces set up, maybe do a little bit in the draft, maybe hit on a few, and maybe turn some of the corner this year. Perhaps we can expect a little better things out of this next season.
Or be really, really bad and get to pick your quarterback early next year.
Or that.
Motion from Brock Bowers. Now Fernando Mendoza, number 1 overall pick this year now. Anaconda to the right side. 3rd and 6 coming up. Again, appreciate you joining us here. Phil Nagy, Kit Nagy, Nagy on Sports is the channel. Thanks so much to our subscribers. You guys are the best. Now motion coming from the running back. Swessinger going to chase him across the formation. Blitz coming. They set up screen, and he takes a Mike Hall shoulder pad to the guts. Incomplete pass, and the Browns will get off the field here in field goal range, though, for Daniel Carlson. We've seen the screen mechanics of Madden ebb and flow from awful to sort of functional to bad to kind of useful. That one didn't work for them. Carlson's kick is up towards the dog pound, and it's good. 10-6 Raiders.
We certainly have seen the full spectrum of capability on screenplays, haven't we?
We certainly have.
Although it's favored pretty heavily on the bad side overall.
No, for sure. And we have figured out anecdotally that the team that you start the game as has the more trouble with the screen passes, which of course is always the Browns.
Right.
So we just take them out of the playbook completely. Actually, tonight I'm experimenting with a slightly different one just to see what it looks like. Right now they're down 10-6. Right here comes Q up the middle now. Right side. Judkins will pick up 5. to the 27. I don't just want to take the Ravens playbook, even though that's the Monken playbook, because I don't know if they're going to run it like they have it, the power of wishbone and stuff, and having a true fullback, and I can't see them going full Ravens with the offense.
Well, no, that's exactly not what they're going to do. If you listen to Monken's press conference, he's very much about what personnel you have. You model your system. You don't have a system. You model your playbook. You build your plan based on what you've got. And you don't have Lamar Jackson here. You don't have Derrick Henry here. I mean, you have very different pieces.
Yes.
So you plan and figure out a way and be creative with what you have, not with what you don't have.
Indeed. Nice catch by Isaiah Bond for a first down. The Browns are across midfield. Good throw there from Shador. Stuck his foot in the ground and ripped one. Pointing out the mic. But there are also a lot of tea leaves that people are trying to read about Malik Willis and or trading for Anthony Richardson so that they can go get the quote-unquote mobile quarterback. Neither of those make me feel very good about.
No, I don't buy it.
I would just keep the assets that it would take to get them, and roll Shador and a bunch of pieces around him is what I would do. But.
Yep, exactly. I don't buy any of that. I don't think either of those are very likely.
Jenkins up the middle to the 30, to the 25, to the 20, and he'll be all the way down to the 11. Just gets a head of steam going. So tough to bring down. And excited to hear him continuing to work in his rehab, and should be fully ready to go for camp, they said.
Yeah, that is exciting. It would be really good to have him back. He's was one of the few highlights of this offense, even with a bad O-line. He had more than some running backs rushing yardage on the season just in his yardage after contact, which is a crazy stat.
Yep, RPO left side wide open. Isaiah Likely into the end zone. And one of our Browns free agents scores a touchdown. First one of the day.
Yeah, that'd be pretty awesome to see. I'd love to have Isaiah Likely come over here and join Monken. For the Browns, that'd be pretty fun. He is a good number 2 for sure to fill in, kind of and complement what we have in the young now sophomore tight end in Fannin. So certainly something that you'd love to see.
Indeed we do, and they retake the lead 13-10 with 7:24 on this second quarter clock. Tucker's going to take it from the 1. He'll get picked up and thrown. There's Winston Reed again, man. Reed all over the place so far in this one.
Yes, indeed.
With that early opening kickoff injury to JOK, I didn't realize we'd be getting as much Winston Reed as we've been getting. Well, there we are. Tackled by Delpit for a TFL there. Sort of like Bobby Bonilla Day for the Browns as they announced the restructure of Watson yet again today, which we all knew what was happening because they needed to do it to get under the cap. And again, one of Haslam's redeeming qualities is his checkbook and his willingness to let them spend his cash. So they did it again.
Yeah,
all that it means is he's for sure going to be on the roster this year.
Yeah, I mean this move has been planned and on the books for a long time. This is exactly how they plan to do it. They wanted to minimize the financial impact of the what turned out to be one of the worst trades in football history, if not the worst trade. But the only way to minimize it is to do exactly what they did. Does it take it away entirely? No, absolutely not. You're never going to retain. It's going to cost you regardless of how you do it. But the fact is, they're minimizing impact. They're being smart about how they go about it. So this is part of that plan. And basically the impact difference, what it does is it creates that cap space that you just mentioned, about $35 million in cap that it frees up right now. It means his cap hit's only about 30-something this year. And then next year, you can very much expect he'll be a post in March next year per plan. There'll be a post June 1 cut with the come March. That will be designated as the post June 1 cut, which then his cap hit that next year will be a much more reasonable 50 mil, as opposed to if you were to cut him right now, it'd be about 130 million, which is a massive chunk of your cap entirely.
Yeah, that's almost half the cap.
Yeah, which is an insane number. So of course they're going to restructure him. Of course they're going to look to pay that money out now, so that they're not having to worry about cap hit later. Reduces it to 30 this year, 50 next year, which is, it's a big chunk, but it's a way more manageable than the 80 it was going to be, or the 50 it'll be, or the 130 if you were to cut them right now.
Indeed. 1st and 10 after the punt at the 24-yard line. Shador in a shotgun now. Judkins on his left hip. Judkins up the middle. Puts his foot in the ground. 30. Sweet juke move to the 35 and a gain of about 15 and another first down. He is running nicely here in the early parts of the sim season.
Yeah, let's see it.
Browns, yes. And having just a little bit of a hole. It's like he's in hog heaven out there. Sanders across the middle. Caught it. First down. Brian Thomas. BTJ across the middle. Up to the 46-yard line.
Nice little window recognition there from Sanders. Just puts it on target with an absolute BB. Puts it just a strike downfield. Love seeing it. Good anticipation, good timing, in rhythm throw. Exactly what you want to see.
Making our way towards the 2-minute warning now. Motion from Fanon across the front of this 12 personnel look. And Judkins goes wide to the 45, and then he'll be stuck right there. Tough to run wide, we know, in these games. Very, very sparingly is it in the playbook. That time we got a couple of positive yards, like 3, 2nd and 7 at the 2-minute warning. Sanders back to pass now. Shador wiggling in the pocket, fired across the middle. Caught by Bond. 35 to the 30. Isaiah Bond, and it'll be tackled from behind by Richardson. A nice run after catch for Bond, and him taking the next step here would be very nice.
Yeah, indeed. And Sanders now in a little bit of a rhythm here with another nice strike downfield.
And incomplete into a mass of bodies. But apparently somehow somebody pass interference to the middle of that. It's going to be Jeremy Chin. And somehow the Browns get a little 7-yard gift and a new set of downs. It was a weird looking play. Sanders pressure coming. Oh, ball pops out. No, it's picked up. It's not even just a screen sack. It's a screen strip sack. And Sam Williams, 80 yards later, he's going to hit the gritty in front of the dog pound as a massive scoop and score for the Raiders.
Yep, the old dreaded triple S, the screen strip sack. That is...
It's clean, too. It's not going to be reviewed.
Yep. Nope, the epitome of the worst of all the screen spectrum stuff we've seen. That's it, right there.
Yep.
You just saw it. And, man, it's brutal to watch those because they are a complete game changer. I mean, this turns this game completely on its head. Browns were in striking distance of a touchdown. You're talking a 14-point swing in this game right now. And, a complete momentum shift as well. As Vegas takes the lead in the spot that the Browns should have been taking control of this game.
11 for 73 for Quinshon so far here in the first half. But yes, momentum, wind sucked right back out of the sails, and now you got to do it all again. And it's hard to move the football sometimes in the NFL now. Blitz coming. They're setting up another screen. This one's going to be complete, but then he's blown up by Max Crosby for a loss. Why are we running so...
the screens,
I told you it was a different playbook, and I hadn't taken all the screens out, and now I'm kicking myself for that, as Crosby's in the zone, by the way. Against our true the 24th overall pick, Francis Mauigoa on the right tackle side. And now Clint Kubiak, Super Bowl winning offensive coordinator, now your head coach in Vegas, calls his first time out, 3rd and 13.
That possibly is the other most frustrating part about what Madden does is its ridiculous over-reliance on not only a play that shouldn't be called as much as it is, but also for it to be as broken as it is, for them to continue to go back to that maybe it'll work this time.
Maybe it will. Good throw to the left side, out caught. And Isaiah Likely for a first down to the 43. It was a nice play on the previous Long third down conversion. That's Brian Thomas Jr. again getting involved. Only called Carnell Tate's name once. He has one catch in this game. Trying to get the young rookie involved. Another quick slant to Thomas. They're going to have to go hurry up, and they do. Top of your screen is Carnell Tate wearing the number 8. I thought 8 for Tate. Just felt like it was the right move. Fired quickly to the right side, and Isaiah Bond is decked and cannot hold on. Big hit there by the defender in the middle of the play. Shador on a 3rd and 5 now. Under 30 to play. He's got good time. He's going to stay in the pocket. Now he's going to take off. 35 to the 30. He waggles back to the middle and slides at the 30-yard line. Browns have one timeout left. Does Todd want to take it now? He does.
Yeah, just a lot of time wasted there dancing. Really needed to be a little more decisive on that. Once he realized he had room to run, quit looking for the line of scrimmage and just run. I mean, head upfield, stick your foot in the ground, run upfield, slide when you need to, but don't waste all that time, especially in this position. Situational football is paramount.
That was a smart play. Throw that thing out of bounds. Cannot take a sack here. They're going to just kick the field goal here now. So to your point, they were driving down here at 13-10, and now just this field goal, and they still won't have the lead. It will be 17-16 though, as Andre Schmidt continues his year hot. Hey, Mitchell, welcome in. Go Browns. 5 seconds remaining on the clock. A rare moment of decent time management from Madden there.
Yeah, very rare.
Shador actually threw it away to preserve clock. He didn't dump it off to the running back 3 feet in front of his face. Mendoza now. Final play. He'll throw it off of his back foot. Double coverage. Tipped by Campbell. And incomplete in the direction of Jake Becht, their top receiver draft pick from a year ago in TCU. 17-16. Moderately entertaining half of simulated football here at Nagy on Sports. Guys, appreciate you joining us for this one. Time to flip the field and kick this thing off. Short, brief halftime report. That's A.J. Cole, the punter, actually doing the kickoffs, apparently. Short kick. Here comes Larvadan from his own 5. Gage tackled immediately by Tucker. Quinshon Judkins, still 11 for 73. Since the last time they showed his stat line, he has not carried the football because they were in that 2-minute drill situation. Phil Nagy, Kit Nagy, Nagy on Sports. Guys, we really appreciate all of our subscribers. Only place on YouTube that you're going to find slow sim sporting events with live original commentary here. That is Nagy on Sports. This is season number 16. This is the 16th simmed Brown season on the channel. Wild to think about.
Yeah. Doing this a hot minute.
Indiana's Pat Coogan snaps it back. The national champion himself over the middle. Bond breaks off a tackle to the 45. Isaiah Bond. Even in the sim, you can see he's got a little something. And if he can progress with a good offseason, I'd like to continue to. I mean, I think they signed him to a 4-year deal last year, so he's going to be around for a minute.
Yeah, that's good because I think he's got the skill set. If he can unleash that speed in particular, if he can develop around that particular trait, if he can get the rest of the pieces in place in order to unleash that weapon, he is dangerous.
And we saw a couple times last year with just that element of speed threat really opening it up. And Quinshon almost dances out of that final tackle. That would have had him into the end zone, but that puts him over 100 for the day. Again, this is the opening drive of half number 2. Sampson in to give him a blow. Likely in motion on the left side of the formation. Give it to Sampson up the middle. To old Sampson. DJ Reader. One-time Lion, the one-time Bengal. Makes the tackle now. Give it to him again. Quinshon back in the game. Tries to stick his foot in the ground. Not going to get past Reader this time. Again, a good run defender that time. KJ Britt, the linebacker, also in the general vicinity as well. 3rd and 7 for the Browns. A little bit of motion from Quinshon. Try to give the defense away. Fired over the middle, and he had him. Palomau was covering him across the middle. It was Quinshon Judkins, on the angle route. And now here is the 4th field goal attempt of the day for Andre Schmidt. And Schmidt happens through the uprights again. 4 for 4 for Andre to go along with the singular Browns touchdown. But they do retake the lead here on the opening drive of half number 2.
Yeah, very nicely done. good to get themselves back on the plus side of the leader column there, but obviously still trying to work their way back out of the hole they dug for themselves off of those inadvisable screens, especially the strip sack.
Israel Adekana, stiff arm in the middle. Winston Reed again. He stow it up in the stat sheet, or it feels like I keep calling his name.
Yeah.
Another tackle after a 6-yard scamper from Izzy, which I believe is what Robert Saleh called him in Hard Knocks that year. Izzy Adekana, Israel Adekana. 3rd and 3, nice tackle in the middle. There's Jackson Powers Johnson from the Oregon Duck. We have a former Oregon Duck in the interior of our line, Emmanuel Pregnon. We took him in the 2nd round of our draft. Now Mendoza, quickly right side, dump it short to Izzy. First down, and then a big hit by Marcus Epps, free agent safety that we brought in from New England to kind of fill that Rayshon Jenkins role. So you see the Browns tendered Hickman today at a 2nd round pick.
Yeah.
Does that feel right?
2nd round pick.
Yeah, so it feels like he's
yeah,
coming back.
I think he will come back. I think the Browns don't really want to lose him, which is why they set it at 2nd round. That's why they spent that on him, because he is an important part of the defense, and they figure if they are going to lose him, they want to get something for him. I don't know that another team is going to spend that on him, which makes him feel pretty safe. I think that's why the Browns did that, so he should be around. I think that probably is the right move, especially keeping that continuity in the safety room. Yes, you're losing Jenkins, but between Delpit and Rocket being kind of the anchors back there, and in tandem, those two play really well together. So if you keep keep the band together, if you will, and you know what the D line can do, hopefully get some Martin Emerson back. Actually, he's technically free agent, isn't he?
He is, yes. They would need to re-sign him.
Yeah, they should have to re-sign him. So, but you certainly like what you have developing on defense, especially with the kind of surprise that Carson Schlesinger was. If he can have another really solid year, the D line is going to be dominant. Yeah. So keeping that safety room in particular kind of stable, I think, is a good move. Sure. So I like that move with the 2nd round tender for Rocket Hickman.
It's essentially bringing back your entire starting defense minus Devin Bush, who is a free agent and technically could resign as well. Right across the middle, Bond fling across the first. He was literally flung by Demarion Richardson across the first down line for the Browns at the 32. After another Raiders punt, Browns driving again now, left to right on your YouTube dial here. Phil Nagy, Kit Nagy, Nagy on sports, and Shador will say, nope, just chuck this thing out of bounds. The read that I wanted was not there, live to play another day.
One thing I do think we will see a little uptick in, one thing Ruttenberg sounds like is a little less hesitant to blitz. He's not quite as vanilla, straightforward, just let your D-line feast come at you with 4 and do the same thing every time. It sounds like it's going to be a little bit more blitzes in the defense, and a little bit more changing things up to keep offenses off on their back heel kind of thing. Yeah,
for sure. A little boot action that time, and Shador will not be able to escape. And Sam Williams having a heck of a day here. Had the scoop and score, and now a nice big sack of Shador.
But the main components aren't going to change. You've got your defense well constructed. You're still going to do a lot of 4-man rush, and it's still going to be a very downhill attack scheme. It's just how much are you bringing blitzes? Where are you bringing the blitzes from? And how much variation to try to I don't think it'll be quite as simplified as the Schwartz scheme was. It'll be a little bit more complicated, but I do believe the players are smart enough and good enough and have played with each other enough that they'll be able to play fast still, which is really all that matters.
Catch goes for about a gain of 8, but it is still going to be 4th down after the long sack that they are not able to overcome, and so Bojorquez comes in for a coffin corner situation. 1917 Browns lead. It's week 3 of the Sim. We're 2-0. We've beaten the Ravens and the Steelers to start the Sim season. And now a close game here with the number 1 overall pick, that man Fernando Mendoza. He climbs underneath his center. Jackson Powers Johnson will stretch it to Dizzy Abaconda in there for the injured Ashton Genty, and Carson Schlesinger with a sweet TFL loss of 4 for Captain America.
Yeah, Carson just doing what he does, reads it so quickly, and man, did he get up there in a hurry. Looked a little shades of JOK style, just out of a rocket launcher, and he's up there before the back can even figure out what is going on.
Concepcion with a gain of about 8 now. 3rd and 4 coming up. Mendoza in a shotgun. He's back to pass. Browns rush 4th right side. Oh, a little bit of a pick route, and Israel Abaconda was wide open. Harden makes the tackle, but it's way past the first down, up to the 28-yard line. The old pick route works to perfection.
Man, look at Carson Schlesinger. Just shooting gaps. I mean, he read that so fast. He was in that gap off of a block before the running back hardly had the ball.
2nd and 11 after the TFL. Quick little slant. Little out route rather to Brock Bowers, and this time Schlesinger picking up his 8th tackle with some nice man coverage. Another underrated part of his game. 3rd and 6. Mendoza in a shotgun. Back to pass. Browns rushing 4. They're setting up screen. 5 to the left side. He's got blockers. He's got a first down. Oh, Tyson Campbell gets murdered by the center down the field. And a huge run on the screenplay. Again, the screen works for them, and a first down Raiders.
And yes, pass coverage is an underrated part of his game, but actually I think that's also part of his game that I expect you to see probably the most likelihood of growth in season 2. I expect him to be a little bit more, disciplined and mechanical in his and smooth in his coverage. Because I suspect he's going to be working on that one, as he's got the instincts for it. He just needs to be a little bit more consistent with it, and that I think that's going to be a point of emphasis for him in season 2.
Sack up the middle, Mike Hall. Isaiah McGuire had the pressure on the first play. This time Mike Hall gets home, and they will sack him, and it's on a 3rd down, forcing another Raider punt. We're under a minute to go here in the 3rd quarter. Browns still nursing a 2-point lead. Fair catch called for Oliver's head.
And really, if he can really figure that piece out, that's where he could really take on kind of the Luke Kuechly 2.0 mantle. If he can figure out that coverage piece fully, he could be as good, if not better.
Dropping back, firing left side. Very short gain to Brian Thomas. Ooh, late contact. No flag. 10 seconds and counting. Shador in a shotgun again. Quinchon on his right hip. Motion from Likely. Sets up a little bunch of receivers to the right. Catches the snap with one hand. Shador fired to that side. I think we're going to get holding. And we are. Quarter cannot end on a offensive penalty by the left tackle, Juwan Jones, who apparently came back into the game. Apparently the quarter can end on an offensive penalty. How about that, Apples?
No, Matt, you're wrong.
No,
it
Matt,
cannot do that.
Wrong. We'll flip the field. We'll throw 15 back on the clock.
I do believe you have that incorrect.
I appreciate you joining Kit and I here tonight. So glad you could be with us. Across the middle, caught on a 2nd and 16, and Bond delivers for 20. He's got 10 catches, 110 yards in this one.
Yeah, he's having quite the game, and
Sure
you'd love to see this, especially with how difficult or really not difficult, just how underwhelming the wide receiver core had been. He was one of the few spots that you felt like maybe there was a chance for something to pop. He didn't ever really get to that level, but there was flashes of it. And if you could get some consistency, then I'd love to have it.
Max Crosby just destroying Quinchon in the backfield.
Yeah, that was a bludgeoning right there.
It sure was. 3rd and 11.
Somebody needs to charge him with some assault.
Yes, we will flip the formation here now. Shador again, back to pass. For the most part, the rookie right tackle's held up. Shador's got some space. Now he's going to wiggle again, as Kit talked about earlier, just undecisive to tuck it. I'm not sure he would have gotten the additional 8 yards, but it sure felt like he should have just gone here.
Nope, should have gone, but yeah, didn't. It does not help to have that little hesitation. Every little moment matters, especially at the speeds that this game is played at. That little bit of hesitation cost him, and maybe he doesn't get the first down, but he gives them the best chance with no hesitation, certainly.
He sure does. Mendoza back out there. Browns playing with fire here, this 2-point lead. That is obviously a 1-score difference any way you slice it. Even a safety ties it up at this point. So,
and it really feels like their best unit's going to have to get this job done in this game, and they want to win. They got to get their defense to do something. Shut them down a 3-and-out here, a turnover, something to take control of this game, because right now the offense isn't getting it together. You have to find a way to provide that spark on defense and be the better unit.
Absolutely. And with that, the clock ticks 12:01 here in the Eastern time zone. Thanks for staying up all night with a late night Nagy on Sports. It also means that it's my birthday now, Kit. How about that?
That's right. Happy birthday, yeah.
1 minute ago. 1 minute ago. 44 years ago.
That's right. Welcome to the old 4-4.
The big 4-4. Now there's no longer saying early 40s. You just can't get away with it anymore. Concepcion over the middle to the 33.
Welcome to my world.
Thank you, Mitchell. I appreciate that. It is, yes. It is March the 7th, and now it is officially March the 7th here, at least in the Eastern Standard Time Zone.
Yeah.
11:04.
You can be 43 here if you want.
That's true. I'm going to keep on pretending that I'm 43 in Seattle where Kit is. My younger self is still with Kit.
Right.
2nd and 3. Mendoza, and they're in field goal range here. So again, talking about needing a spark. Quick little RPO, fling it to the left side. Oh, Miles!
Suplex.
Just flipping him upside down with the old suplex. Again, it's so funny. They added that animation in a couple years ago when they were like, we're going to make the defense look cooler. And it was like, so that just doesn't happen in the NFL. Like, dudes aren't suplexing each other.
And that's a penalty.
Well, it is now. Yeah, you're right. I think it is. Concepcion, and somebody's hurt, and it's my call. First down at the 12. And now you're losing another interior pass rusher. Lose for a couple
yes,
plays.
Karen. Miles is out there. That was him with the suplex just now.
Yes. I do not believe that he has registered a sack yet in the first 3 sim games, and Concepcion's into the end zone. He beats Denzel, and the rookie has the Raiders now on top. Kevin Casey Concepcion.
Certainly off to a slow start here in our sim after setting the NFL record.
And yes, thank you, Karen. I appreciate that. 24-19, which means now a field goal doesn't do anything for you either. It was a 7-play, 75-yard drive when we were calling for the defense to step up, and they were not able to do so. A very young-looking Todd Monken. He was the closest one that I thought looked like Todd Monken. There are not a lot of blondes in the coaching realm. Barbadan up the middle to about the 31. Shador's going to need some fourth-quarter fireworks here. He's had a pretty decent day. You can see 26-34, just 235, so a lot of short completions. The one touchdown that feels like forever ago now. Otherwise, it's been 4 Andre Schmidt field goals to accompany that singular touchdown pass to Isaiah Likely. Trips to the left side for Sugar. Decent protection, and it breaks down. Max Crosby is inevitable, and he finally gets home, beating the rookie right tackle, Francis Maui-Noa. 2nd and 16. Again, it's not like DEFCON level critical drive here with 9 minutes to play, but you'd like to get something going, and you'd like to get that man the football. Fannin for a gain of about 7, making it 3rd and 7. Trips to the right side. Shador points out the safety. Now he'll wiggle. Now he'll fire. Left side. Got it, Fannin. There he is, right on cue. 20, 10, 5. House call for Fannin. Wow.
You asked for it. There
I
it is.
did.
just popped right behind the defense. Old number 44 finding some space, and man, he makes them pay here. What a beautiful throw from Sanders. Just right in stride. He's got his defender beat by a solid 2 yards. And easy space, easy doing. Fannin Jr. with the touchdown. Big response here for the Browns, and they're going to go for 2.
They are. 2-point lead does you nothing. Play action boot to the right side. He's got one if he wants it. Back to the end zone. And out of play, not able to be caught by Brian Thomas. Thought he could have thrown it to the tight end quickly. That's the rookie Joe Royer. And now we sit at 25-24 after 2 quick touchdowns. Shaping up to be an exciting last 8:24 of the sim. So glad you've chosen to join us here this evening. Whether you're staying up late watching it live with us or watching it later, guys, we really do appreciate all of you. 1,200 strong, basically, subscribers. Also hit that thumbs up button if you don't mind. It helps grow the slow sim audience here at Nagy on Sports. We're in the middle of our 2026 Brown season after a virtual offseason and a 2026 Ohio State Buckeyes season after a virtual offseason. Both teams are undefeated to start said seasons, and we're going to get a holding call on the Raiders, even though the ref continues to point the wrong way.
You know, you feel like that should have been solved, seasons upon seasons ago.
Yes.
years
just
upon years
example
ago.
of how lazy they are and how they just copy-paste the game to the next year, and they change a couple of things, and they, 1 year they had everybody's hair was flowing. Look at this attention to detail. It's like, no, you're just copying and pasting the same mediocre game, but you have different guys in it. I mean, it's almost to the point where it's like, just make it like one game of Madden, and every year you can just download new DLC. Like, get yourself the new rosters for $10 or something. That's like, don't pretend you're getting a new football game every year. And then, by the way, was that the first Myles Garrett sack of the season?
I think it was. He at least hit him. I don't know if he got credited with that sack, but they're showing him a lot, so I suppose it was. He didn't really wrap it up. He just kind of knocked him into his own offensive lineman, and they went down from there. It was kind of awkward, but it worked.
Good action fight to Bowers. Tackled by Schlesinger, shuts him down. Third and an important 8 yards now. The number 1 overall pick, national champion. Goofy as he may be on the mic, seems like a pretty genuine guy. Fernando Mendoza. Fling it. Deep shot. Right side. We got a flag right away. Schlesinger step for step with the running back. What's the flag? Holding.
Yeah, based on when it was thrown, had to be a hold. He was in the pocket, but yeah, it was thrown right as he was releasing the ball, and that is one thing about having that time. Sometimes even Myles Garrett's going to get the call.
Even Myles Garrett. 1st and 10. Now 5.5 to go. Do you have your 4-minute put-away drive? Very different than the one you needed last time. Everybody pulling left, and Judkins can't get through the line. Pulling guard and the pulling center that time is Tevin Jenkins, who we re-signed to be our right guard. Could not get through to create some space there on that power trap. Back to pass now, Sanders. Now he'll fire in rhythm, across the middle. Oh boy, that was Carnell Tate. It was actually deflected and almost intercepted by the defense that time. That's Darian Porter now in his 2nd year out of Iowa State. Sanders on a 3rd and 10, sacked! Now we know is going to be credited for it, as that's going to be Hemingway getting into the backfield. And the Browns cannot take advantage of the 4-minute drive opportunity. A big Tonka Hemingway, a rookie last year from South Carolina, 6'2", 284, gets home and gets Sanders to the ground. Bojorquez with his heels on the white paint of his goal line with a boomer. Woof, past the 40-yard line. That thing going more than 60 yards in the air. And a nice coverage on the other side. But they still have good field position at the 46, and here comes Fernando. Obviously, a field goal does it.
Last thing you wanted was to have a 3-and-out here, putting your defense in a tough spot. They only need about 15 yards to be in field goal range, maybe 20. And then obviously take the lead with that. So you don't want them to burn a bunch of clock, kick a field goal with only a handful of seconds left here. That would be a disaster.
2nd and 9. Mendoza quickly throws to the left side, caught by Beck. Wide receiver drafted a year ago from TCU, Jack Beck. 3rd and 2 now. 3.5 to go. Mendoza back to pass. Bile being pushed. He'll flow it right side. He doesn't catch it. He did. Wow, what a catch by Beck on the sideline, and he holds on. 1st and 10 Raiders. Browns have to be careful with the clock here now. Anaconda up the middle. Izzy runs for 7 hard yards to the 33.
Yeah, that's going to put them in field goal range, which is danger zone here for the Browns. The clock is going to go to south of 3 minutes. This is not where they want to be.
Yeah, if you looked at the first 3 weeks and said Ravens, Steelers, Raiders, this would not be the game I would think you'd think of it being in doubt, but Mason Graham pushes them back. Now it's going to be a 60-yarder if they want to try it.
Yep, just on the very edge of field goal range here. Now 3rd and 13, a big down here. That sack was pivotal.
Sure was. Here we go now. 2:28 and counting. Mendoza. 2 running backs on either hip. One of them will leave the pocket. That's Jackson. Back to pass. Mendoza. Pressure coming. Miles gets home. Well, it's good time to show up for Myles Garrett now with 2 sacks here in the 4th quarter. And a 4th and 20 and definitely out of field goal range now.
Yeah, absolutely out of field goal range. That a most critical sack. And that's what you pay these elite players for those critical moments. You got to show up in critical moments. That was none more critical in this game than that one right there. And Myles Garrett finds a way, gets home, gets the sack, and that is crucial. 4th and 20 now. This is ball game.
Clint Kubiak's going to go for it on a 4th and 20, and Mendoza airmails it out of the back of the end zone. Why not punt there with your 3 timeouts?
I don't know why you don't punt. But, handing the ball here at midfield to the Browns with a point advantage and shy of 2 minutes seems like a recipe for disaster to me.
First down's going to end the game. Judkins up the middle for 2. Kubiak calls the first timeout. 5:24. It's been a back-and-forth game. Shedeur out of a pistol. Give it to Quinchon again. Quinchon blown up by Tommy Eichenberg, the former Buckeye, in the middle, and now the 2nd timeout is called. So at the very least, they're going to be able to get this thing down to about a minute. But if they get a first down, this game is over now. Shedeur's going to throw for it. Fired over the middle. Caught by Tate! It's been a while since we've seen him, but he's going to ice the game. The number 6 overall pick, Carnell Tate. Browns are going to hold on.
Yeah, when you wondered where he was all game, suddenly he shows up, and it's the critical catch, one that ices the game with a 1-point victory here. 25-24. Yeah, love it. The 6th overall pick shows up just when you need him to. Myles Garrett shows up in the most critical down of the game, and the Browns come away with a tough, gutty win. Came down to the final pot, maybe after that strip sack that it was going to be all Raiders from there, but they found a way back in. They gritted it out. They got the win that they probably should have had easily in this one, but they did it the hard way, but they got it done.
They sure did, and yes, 3-0. How do you like the sounds of that, Browns fans?
Yeah, love it.
There's the screen scoop and score from Sam Williams. All right, let's look at some quick statistics. I know many of you will hop off, guys. We really appreciate you joining us here for this one, and take care of yourselves. We'll try to get another Brown sim done at some point this weekend. Today for the rookie, 6'5", 225, rookie out of Indiana, Fernando Mendoza, 30 of 40 for 266, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Not a bad performance for him. Israel Abaconda, 18 for 44. Mendoza had 4 scrambles for 49 yards. Jaquindon Jackson, the 2nd running back, just 2 carries for 0 yards. Brock Bowers, 7 for 75. 6 for 41 for Izzy, 6 for 46 for Jake Beck, 5 for 73 for the rookie Casey Concepcion out of Texas A&M, and then 2 for Calvin Austin they brought over in free agency. The touchdown was by Dallin Bentley, undrafted rookie free agent. Christopher Smith, the safety, with 10 tackles, 9 for Darian Porter, 7 for KJ Britt, and Isaiah Paolo Mao. Sacks today, 1 for Hemingway, 1 for Williams, 1 for Laulu, 1 for Max Crosby. And no interceptions today for Shedeur, but again, he did have that fumble that Laulu forced, and Williams scooped and scored on. For the Browns, to Shedeur today, 29 of 38 for 318. How about 76%? 2 touchdowns, and most importantly, no interceptions. Quinchon, 18 for 100 even today. Nice game for him. 3 for 10 for Shedeur, including the fumble. 2 for 28 for Dylan Sampson. But still like to see a little bit more than 20 handoffs. 10 for 110 for Isaiah Bond. He was the top receiver today. 7 for 82 again for the recently traded Brian Thomas Jr., who we traded for in the offseason. 4 for 82, including the 66-yard touchdown for Fannin. 3 catches for Quinchon. 2 for Likely, including a touchdown. Just 2 today for Carnell Tate, but boy, was the last one a big one, as we talked about icing it for the Browns. On defense, no surprise, Captain America, 15 tackles. 11 for Miles Harden, who's kind of secured himself into the slot for us. 9 for Jerome Baker. 7 for Ward Delpit Garrett with 3 TFLs, and Marcus Epps, that additional safety. 2 sacks for Myles Garrett. Welcome to the NFL, Myles. Good to have you. Mike Hall with 1. Alex Wright with 1, and Mason Graham with 1. All defensive line tackles, and early in the game, Jerome Baker had that interception. All right. Well, that is how this game will end. We'll go ahead and fast forward because we're not waiting to recreate reality or see what other weeks will do, so you'll get to see. Get a couple guys who are going to upgrade themselves based on some performances, and then we will see what's waiting for us. The Bengals. So we're going to complete the AFC North here in a week by playing the Cincinnati Bengals. We'll see what the records are for the Bengals. They're 1-2. So there you go. Browns at 3-0. Bengals at 1-2. And that is what we will be simming later this weekend, maybe Sunday afternoon, evening, something like that. Try to let you know in the Discord. Guys, this one was a lot of fun. Do very much appreciate it. Thanks again so much to our subscribers. Thanks for Kit for being able to hop on. Thanks for staying up late with us. Thanks for those well wishes for my birthday, which occurred now 17 minutes ago. But appreciate you joining us. Kit, anything else to wrap this one up?
No, this one was a lot of fun. Glad to be back on the mic. Happy birthday to you. And the Browns are 3-0. What more could you like?
That's right. Even if it's in fantasy land, Browns are 3-0. What better birthday present could I get? So, all right, guys, we really appreciate you. For Phil here in Central Ohio, Kit out on the left coast tonight. We are Nagy on Sports. We'll talk to you real soon. And we'll get out of here as we usually do by saying, Go Browns!